We've got our NFC predictions coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Looking forward to that conversation. We did the AFC side yesterday. We'll do the NFC side today. We'll do our awards and Super Bowl predictions tomorrow. And then it's here. It's week 1 of the NFL season starting tomorrow night. Got to make our picks on Friday. Early rumors and rumblings surrounding the show says no points will be allocated on Thursday night's contest. Early returns say that both of us are skipping using our...
I think we're both not going to use Thursday night football. I thought about it for a while, looking at the games today.
Thought about it.
I'm just...
Considered it.
7.5 point spread in week 1 is pretty big. And... I do think the Eagles win this game handedly.
The last thing you want to do is wager your 3-point play or your 2-point play early
on the first game
and lose and already be behind the 8 ball. Because you know what? If you do that, if you made your 3-point,
I think it changes your strategy.
Of course it does. If you picked Eagles minus 7.5 tomorrow night as your 3-point play because you're a homer and you're just going to pick the Eagles and they win by like 4, your team won. It's a loss for you. You don't feel good about it Friday.
I also just want to be very clear that I'm an Eagles fan, and that looks like a homer pick. They could beat the Cowboys by 30.
No. I agree. And if I had to pick Thursday Night Football, that's the side that I would pick. But I'm just saying, how bad does it set up Friday for you? It makes me more confident as a picker. I can take now a chance if I want with my 1-point play, right? Because I've now got a little bit of an extra cushion because you wasted your 3-point play on a loss. So that's why if you're going to go first, if you're going to pick a Thursday night game, you better be sure. You better be lock of the century. And week 1 of the regular season, I don't think anything's a lock. Week 1 of the regular season. Week 1 for the Arizona Cardinals will be in New Orleans against the Saints. I thought it was interesting, Jonathan Gannon meeting with the media earlier today, mentioning that instead of the normal 2-night stay road trip, they're opting to just be there for 1 night. So getting in on Saturday, spending the night there, and then playing Sunday, and then getting out of Dodge after the game and coming back for the start of week 2. So instead of getting there on Friday, staying there Friday night, being there all day Saturday, staying there Saturday night, playing Sunday, the Cardinals are opting for the 1-night travel day. We'll see if their science and data and analytics behind that decision pay off. But let's look at the season big picture here. Maybe for the last time that we will do this, right? Because then it'll be reacting to the week to week of it all. What's more important for the Cardinals' success this year? Is it more important to have their offense be great? Or is it more important for their defense to be great? What's more vital for the success of the Arizona Cardinals in 2025? And to me, the answer may shock you, but the answer is pretty simple. What's more important to this team is their defense. And the reason why it is their defense for me, very simple fact. Maybe not a fact, maybe more of an opinion. If this offense is exactly the same from last year and the defense is better, they're a playoff team. If their offense is exactly the same as last year, but their defense is the same as last year, not a playoff team. If their defense is not as good as last year's, is just as good as last year's, and their offense is better, they still could have a tough time making the playoffs. Defense is the name of the game. Defense is the way this team wants to play. It is their identity. It is the core, the root of what they do. They run the football. They play great defense. That is their identity as a football team. That is what Jonathan Gannon wants them to be. And I know Kyler had his struggles in the second half last year and certainly had a major role in that collapse. But their defense also ran out of gas. If their offense does exactly what they did a year ago, I think that offense is good enough to sneak in as a wild card team. They need their defense to raise the floor. They need their defense to be a lot better than it was last year. So I'm paying very close attention to how this defense starts, to how this defense takes advantage of this soft stretch to start the season. Some lesser opponents to start the year. Because if they can get off to a fast, hot start, they can build that confidence, then they are going to be ready to go when they have to face Tampa late in the year, Jacksonville late in the year, Houston late in the year, Cincinnati late in the year, Stafford and the Rams late in the year. All of these good offenses with good to great quarterbacks at the end of the season. You got to have this defense clicking and firing on all cylinders if you stand a chance to win enough games in that stretch. Doesn't matter what the offense does. Offense can score points. Offense can get to 30 every week. If this defense doesn't hold up its end of the bargain, doesn't matter. The most important thing for the Cardinals this year is, can their defense raise the floor? Can their defense be consistent for 17 weeks? Their offense can make zero improvement from last year, and it's an offense that's good enough to sneak in as a wild card team. Defense isn't good enough to do that. Defense fell apart late in the season, really struggled, hit the wall, ran out of gas, whatever you want to say to describe it. They need their defense to be what it says it is on paper, and that is a top 10, top 12 defense in the league, one of the best defenses in the league. That is what they need. That is the most important thing to their success, because if the defense plays that way, they're going to be able to do whatever they want offensively. You want to control the game by running the ball, limiting the possessions? You can do that with how good your defense is. You want to limit how much you ask Kyler Murray to do to try to limit some of the turnovers, to try to play that game? You need your defense to keep you in games to be able to do that. You want James Conner and Trey Benson to be your identity on offense? You can't have a defense that puts you down 17-0 and you got to throw your way back into the game. The defense is the center of everything. It's not a throwaway line when people say defense wins championships. There's a reason for that. Your defense, especially with this head coach, is the identity of this football team. And to me, it's the more important unit going into this season.
It's always interesting when you talk about offense and defense, because I think a lot of people say it's an offensive league. Defense, more or less, kind of wins you the championship. But there's a few games that you circle and say the offense just needs to be better. In Seattle, you gave up 16 points. You lost 16-6.
That game, offense needs to be better.
And so there's a few of these. You lost 13-9 to the Rams late in the year. I mean, there's just too many games where you only gave up 20 points to the Lions in September, who at that point were smashing everybody, and you scored 13. So, yeah, the defense needs to be better, but I need to see a more consistent offense too. I need to see it. I need to see a team that late in the game can go to its best players and not be completely stagnant when they're trying to throw the ball down 7. Because whether your defense is great or not, you're going to have situations where you need a drive to win the game, and I just don't trust this team to do it.
Yeah, they're going to have chances throughout the year to prove that they can do it in those moments. But I think overall, taking the season as a whole, their identity is based on how they're going to play defensively. I think everything they do branches off of what type of defense gets off the bus Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons. Like, to me, everything is based off of that. And there's been so much investment in dollars, in draft picks, in resources to make that group better, to make that group not just better, but a strength of this team. It's the stronger of the two groups by far, talent-wise, and what you see on paper. Now they've got to go back it up, because it is what, if the defense is shaky, it ruins the foundation and the identity of the football team. It just does. There's no foundation if the defense isn't good. So to me, the defense more important going into this upcoming season. Offense, they have their things they need to be great at. They have their things that they need to excel with. There are question marks that we have with that group. I am not saying this to give cover for the offense, that they can just be exactly what they were a year ago and everything's going to be great and they're just going to roll to a playoff spot. I think if they are the same offense that they were a year ago, they are going to have moments where they need to come through with that big drive, and those small sample sizes could be the difference between making the postseason and not making the postseason. But if they don't have an improved defense, I don't know how many chances that offense is going to get to thrive in those moments.